new here, I'm Jamie and I'm an artist who primarily works with clay. I was just about to set up to throw and I thought it would be cool if I showed you the tools that I use to make pottery at home, because I'm pretty much just throwing out of the living room of my one-bedroom apartment, which is also my office and actual lounge area. Not a lot of space to work with, but I am making it work. I have a small hallway right outside my front door that I store all of my clay related things in, and then everything that's like finished and done and packaging and all of that is here with me in my office. So let's set up the space and talk about my favorite tools. I have a lot of tools, but I don't really use a lot of them. So the main things that I have at my wheel are my bucket of water, my rag, my mirror, which I got from Target, super cheap, gets the job done. I have a Tupperware that I use for my clay slip when I'm not wanting it to get in my water bucket. I have 3 different kinds of sponges. One is just like a classic yellow sponge, and the other 2 are mud tool sponges, the orange one and the blue one. You can't tell their color now because I've really used them and should probably get more, but they're great. Highly recommend them. And then a ruler, my wire cutter, and my needle tool. And then my yellow mud tools rib, which I use for like shaping, trimming off the excess clay before I slice things off. That has been a really versatile piece for me. I use it when I'm throwing, when I'm trimming, to smooth things out. It's just a great little tool. I have a scraper tool that I got from Garrity Tools, like Tool of the Month Club. How many times can I say tool? And it's been super helpful for scraping excess stuff off of the wheel when I'm done, and also cleaning my surfaces. Gets up all the clay and it's so great to have. Another thing I use while I'm throwing is books, because I think having your hips level is crucial. Obviously pottery can be like a weird body shape, so your body is precious, and trying to keep mine as in line as I possibly can and keeping my feet at the same level. So I just stack books so that my like hips aren't out of line while I'm throwing. Tools I use when trimming, I only have 2. That's a lie. I have more. I only use these 2. They're Kemper tools. I got them from my local pottery shop and I love them because one is big enough for when I want to take like a lot of clay off at once, and then the other one's great for just like the finer, more detailing things. I even use a smaller one to flute my pieces and it works great. And then I just use my yellow rib to smooth it out, and that's it. I can't forget that I have bats. Depending on how I'm feeling, I'll just throw on the wheel head, or I will use my Dirty Girl pottery bats, which are great. I have the round ones and I love them. I got them for Christmas a couple years ago and I use them all the time. They're super easy. I can either use my wire tool to cut them off or not even cut them off, and they come off from the bat so easily. It's so great. I also use this wooden knife tool to take my bats out of the bigger like bat holder whenever I'm done. I also have the speedball like plastic bats, which are good for making like plates and bigger things that I don't want the wheel head holes, the like where the screws sit, to get in the way of throwing. So those have been really great. I have 4 of those. When I'm not using those, I just have pieces of wood that I put my pieces on, and that works out great too. Really don't need that much. And then I just throw on a basic IKEA chair with a pillow on it. I would love an adjustable stool. I would love wheel adjuster leg things so that I could potentially throw standing up, but this has worked. My body is still okay. So now for my work table area, I lay down a towel, nothing fancy, on my little kitchen table setup, and I have one of those art school boards that is intended for drawing. It actually works really great because it's the same material as like what bats are made of, so it's really easy. The clay doesn't stick, and I already had this like in my parents' garage, so I was able to just go over there and take it, and I've used it since. I then found another one on somebody's like street side, like they literally just set it out. So now I have two, and I use one for my red clay whenever I use that, and one for my white clay. It's also nice because it's not attached to the table, so I can pick it up and move it outside whenever I want. It's easy to wipe down, and it's big enough to where I can actually like roll stuff out. And so if you're lacking space but need something, that's one thing that I think it is not intended for this use, but it actually could be, and it works great. I also just have a spray bottle for water because you never know when you need to get something more wet. And I have a simple scale, and I have another small square table that I found in the Target clearance section. And it's a great little add-on if I need more space, like when I'm really making a lot. Beneath my work table, I just have a classic like paint bucket. I use it to store my clay after I've wedged it up because I have just like cloth in there that I get wet and wrap the clay up when it's like not too soft to throw with. I like throwing with my clay like really soft because it's so much easier on my wrist, and it just makes the whole experience easier and more enjoyable. That's the setup, baby. I don't use a lot, but I'm able to get a lot done, and I love that. Hopefully that was like quick and easy and helpful. I guess I'm just very much work with what you've got, and so I'm trying to keep my space small and tidy and not really interfere with the rest of the house while I'm throwing. And I think in keeping my tools and my setup as concise as possible has helped me to not like take over the whole house. So if that was helpful, let me know. If you have any other like little tips and tricks for setting up in your home, also let me know. And I'm gonna go get to throwing now.